arranged a session today with our expert from AWS, Madhukiran. So he will be taking you through the key points that you should keep in mind related to hackathon, tip, tricks, whatever you want. We are here for you today from 3 to 4. He'll be answering all the questions. And over and above that, from 4 to 4:30, I'm sure a lot of you had questions around how to access AWS Educate. Some of the courses are not accessible to you. Some of the courses are denied for you. So all these queries will be answered between 4 and 4:30. So let us stick to the topic from 3 to 4 on the topic which Madhukiran is taking us through. 4 to 4:30 is when you will limit your questions to about AWS Educate. So great, thank you all for joining. So before I restart the session, I just want to briefly introduce Madhukiran, our expert over here. Madhukiran is a senior technical account manager at Amazon Web Services based in India. He has over 18 years of industry experience. He specializes in cloud architecture, AI, ML, and helping enterprise customers build scalable, resilient solutions on AWS. He's passionate about enabling the next generation of technologists and has been actively involved in community engagement and knowledge sharing initiatives across science, user groups, and cloud clubs. Thank you, Madhukiran, so much for taking out time and helping our students over here to participate in the hackathon. So over to you and wishing you all girls the very best.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shubha, and special thanks to you for this opportunity that I get to spend 1 hour out of my work schedule along with such energized student community and folks here. And this is a great initiative from Aspire for her around empowering these people through hackathon and getting them introduced to AI skills directly through some of these initiatives, right? So thank you so much for the stage and great intro and that summarizes who I am. Uh, for the folks on the call today, let this be an engaging session, right? I don't want to do death by PPT today. Uh, it's going to be more open-ended. I want to guide the team on how do you approach hackathons, some of the experiences that I've had conducting um, enterprise-grade hackathon for my own audience of customers and other technology communities, right? And what people look for in a hackathon and what do you learn from these hackathon type of engagements and initiatives. So that's primarily what I try to cover. But if you have any questions, just keep them coming in the chat. I'll see if I can address those from a tips and tricks and from a technical point of view, like Subha mentioned. And if you have queries around AWS Educate, kindly hold those until 4 p.m. My colleague Akansha is going to be here at 4 and probably uh, sort out some details around AWS Educate as well, right? So that goes out of the way. We'll do a quick check of, say, a show of emojis as to how many people amongst the 630 plus and growing, hopefully we touch 1,000 soon, this group, how many of you are aware of AWS? Okay. Okay, different emoji now. How many of you have not used AWS but are excited to learn about AI? Not always AWS, AI or AWS or both. Nice. Wow, lot of hands. That's good. That's good. So you are in the right place, right, Har? Let's get started. I'll not directly jump into AWS and AWS skills, right? We'll focus on hackathon and what the participants are going to build as a part of this hackathon. But assuming time permits, I'll throw some lights on AWS and how we are trying to. This is for probably post hackathon learning or understanding and research for the audience. I'll quickly spend some 5-10 minutes on AWS AI as well. Now, with that being told, I'm gonna share my screen. Suba, Farisha, or if someone from the team can. Okay, perfect.
Yes, it's we can see.
Yes, again. Uh, while the intentions behind each slide is mine, while the content is mine, I again used AI to prepare the deck as well, and I'm proud to say that, right? Today, I had a conversation with one of the AWS leaders this morning. He is my skip level leader who heads enterprise support. And we were talking about how do we see our roles getting changed 6 months down the line. For me, as itself, right, as a technical account manager or a TAM in AWS, how do I see my role changing in 6 months? AI is going to like grow like anything. It's already growing this much. What do I do? Then what he said was AI will not take humans' jobs, right? But humans who do not skill up on AI might lose their jobs. So that's the situation today. You'll have to keep updating yourself at a faster pace and learn these skill sets, right? So yeah, the technology is constantly evolving and disruptive, but we are all equally capable because it is us humans who invented all of this technology, and getting up to speed or constantly learning and evolving or keeping ourselves up to date with the latest in tech will ensure that you will have a good career ahead or a good future ahead, right? So while there's a lot of confusion around what is going to be the picture, since I have a lot of students in this call around the job market or around what's happening with AI and what skills do I prepare myself with, you definitely need to equip yourselves with AI skills going forward, and stay up to date with advancements that are happening so that you position yourself as a skilled person who can tackle different kind of problems, right? And it's not just one field or a use case. Like Subha already mentioned, people are there from STEM background and people are there from non-STEM background as well. Despite that, you could still use AI for your benefit for automating tasks. Let's assume I have a customer who was speaking to me in a manufacturing industry. We were discussing about how you could create digital twins. We were discussing about how you could improve predictive maintenance with the help of AI. Right. Similarly, customer in the travel and hospitality area, we were discussing how they could improve customer experience uh, for, say, booking or a travel planning kind of a use case where it will give them a very personalized agenda, right? With the help of AI. So definitely the applicability of AI is in all segments of our industries and use cases. It's how we equip ourselves with it and enrich our knowledge with that, right? So agenda for the next 50 minutes or so, we'll start about what is a hackathon all about, because for some people, this might be your first hackathon. For some people, you might have done a lot of hackathons, and this is kind of a next level of challenge you want to take with this Party Talk hackathon that we are going to have. I'll talk about what should be your mindset and how do you prep for this hackathon. If you are going to work as teams, I was not sure about that. You can you can correct me if I'm wrong, and if they are going to work as individual contributors for the hackathon. But if you're going to work as team in other overall hackathons, I'll give you how you form that team and what kind of people may be needed to form a team which can build a complete solution or a real world example through this hackathon, right? Then definitely about ideation and problem solving. Ideation is still something very much human uh, skill or intelligence, I would say. We still are best in bringing out new ideas, and you could use AI to implement those ideas for sure, which makes life easier for us. But those groundbreaking ideas need to come from all of us. We'll talk a bit about ideation and problem solving, and then we'll go on to how you actually build something in this hackathon. And while my instructions are going to be broad based, it will equip you with preparing for future hackathons as well. We'll kind of dive deeper into Party Rock, which is the browser-based app that you are going to use for this hackathon. So, if during building your prototype, we'll talk a bit about Party Rock, and then yeah, pitching and presentation again, hackathon skills that are needed. for you for participating in any kind of hackathon, right? So I'll talk about that as well. Like I said, I'll take 5 minutes to talk about some AWS AI tools as well, right? Why are hackathons successful? Hackathons are very successful in innovating and creating new experiences, new real world solutions for different variety of audiences. Why it works is you bring together a group of people with different kinds of idea, which you can quickly start implementing. You can fail fast, right? You don't focus on, say, is this going to be ready for going to production tomorrow? Rather, you're going to focus on, is this going to work? Is this really a good idea that is worth exploring further? And then taking it all the way to productionize it or to kind of make it accessible to a larger audience with all the additional features. So you basically build what we sometimes call as a MVP. Can I see raised hands? Do you understand? Do you folks understand what is an MVP? Yeah, put it in the chat if you understand what is an MVP. Yes, minimum viable product. A lot of folks are able to get that. Yes. So minimum viable product. The viable part is what is important, right? And via a hackathon, what you're trying to prove is, yes, this is viable. This is a good area to explore further and invest further on, right? A hackathon helps you show that, yes, this is achievable. Right? You build a working prototype. It may or may not be a polished product, but it enables collaboration. It enables rapid iteration. You quickly within the allotted time. It is time boxed. I have given an example here, but depending on the nature of the hackathon, it may vary. Some hackathons even run for a week or two, right? So it may vary, but it is always time boxed. You have to complete a specific working prototype within the stipulated time. Usually it's done in group of 3 to 5 people, but if you're doing as individuals, that is fine as well. And with Party Rock, you can actually do this as an individual person. So that is totally fine. Again, you don't focus on perfection, but your idea is so great that you would feel bad if you are not able to show a working model of your idea to a larger audience, right? The hackathon gives you the stage for that. Okay, moving on. How do you win a hackathon? Yeah, you are participating. All of you are participating. All 1,000 plus, 2,000 plus folks of you are going to be a part of this hackathon. Some tips for winning, right? You solve a real world problem. Probably it's a problem that maps to a certain set of demography of audience or a age group or a set of people. But maybe the impact is measured by how many people's day-to-day life do you touch by building what you've built. Embrace the constraints. Yes, you have not been given infinite amount of resources to build. With what limits and in terms of time, resources, technology limits that you have, with the available things, how can I be creative and how can I build appealing solution, right? So embrace your constraints, fail fast, right? Again, I'm connecting this with an Amazonian principle. We have a leadership principle called as bias for action, which directly translates to this fail fast that you see in the slide right now, right? So keep trying. Small failures are always okay. Rather than building a project for 6 months, 1 year, and then failing to see an adoption of the product or saying that my idea has failed, I've invested 1 year in it, I've invested 2 years in it. Rather, if you have bias for action, prototype it, iterate over it, see if it's actually useful, see if it's actually having the usability and the demand from the people who are going to be the consumers of the product that you're building or the solution that you're building. So fail fast, iterate faster, test ideas quickly. If it's not working, you should be able to pivot. And we call these things as a two-way door decision in our field of work as well, which means how quickly you could enter this project. You should be able to exit the project so quickly if the idea is not a idea that's going to succeed. At any point, if you feel that no, this is going in the wrong direction, this is set up for failure, let's do a course correction, let's kind of change our idea, or let's work on a very fresh idea itself. You should be able to do it. For that, you should be able to rapidly prototype, right? So without putting your efforts, you cannot simply say that no, yeah, this idea is not going to work. As I read it only, I feel that it is going to take a lot of effort within the hackathon time. I will not be able to complete it. That's not a mindset you need to approach it with. When I say fail fast, I mean that you test it, you put your efforts into it, see if it's working, very good. If it doesn't, not very bad. That is the approach I want you folks to have in mind when building for the hackathon, right? And impact is greater than complexity. Now, this is not a coding hackathon, probably a party rock based hackathon, right? But if it's a coding, or irrespective of whether it's a coding or a non-coding hackathon, the complexity of what you've built, right? When you say complexity, take an example of a coding hackathon. If you have a solution that you've built and you say that uh, I wrote 10,000 lines of code with so many functions and classes and sub functions, which makes this really heavy project. Would you be getting scoring or marks for that? You may or may not, right? The solution, the output is more important. The impressive tech stack or your lines of code or in the prompting challenge or in a party rock challenge, the complexity or how big of a prompt have you written? Is the prompt 6 paragraphs in size is not going to decide whether you're going to win or not, right? Moving on. How do you prepare? Research a theme, set up an environment, maybe your local laptops, right? For a party rock challenge, all you need is a browser. But any additional analysis that you want to do, if you have a AI assistant, if you have a local laptop where you can kind of test something, do that. Learn a new tool that we are going to help from AWS. We are going to ask you to access Party Rock. We are going to show how you can easily build apps through Party Rock. Build a starter template, right? So have it documented. And in the for the future as well, this is a tip. If you're going to participate in coding hackathons, have a Git repo, right? So always push your code to your Git repos. You don't know, you might be creating the next big magic software that's going to be accessed by everyone. So start committing your work, maintain a Git repo, right? And network for teammates. You have a network. So more than us folks in the corporate, folks who are in college, you build a great network, and kudos to you, hats off to you. Now you should be able to understand also who is good at what and how you can make a team that is covering for your gaps, right? For example, I may be good in architecture, design, and customer support, but if Madhukiran, expert coder, maybe not, right? One of my teammate is an expert coder whom I can take the help of for coding related help or review of my code that I generated with AI. Because I use AI for coding, then AI gives me a lot of things to digest or understand before I deploy my solution, right? Then if I need a colleague who is a part of my team who can review code, who can analyze code, then I could from my network, I understand that, and I pull him in into my team, right? Again, don't narrow down whatever I'm trying to say for the Party Rock Hackathon, uh, which may not be a coding competition, but this is an example. With prompt chaining also, which you might very well use in the Party Rock Hackathon, you can actually understand who has knowledge in a particular theme, right? If you are good in writing prompts, if you are good in constructing prompts, then you probably be that person but let your team member or a friend or a colleague help you out in identifying the theme or the business problem you're trying to solve, right? So that is what we mean by network for teammates. This is an example team that we usually see when we run customer hackathons, right? There used to be a coder who builds the core product and integrates the APIs. There'll be a designer who handles the user experience, visual identity, whether one click should lead to the other. What is the theme of the UI? How is the user experience going to be? What is the entire flow when a user accesses my solution or my product that I've built, right? Then there's a presenter who crafts a well-defined pitch. He communicates the value of what the solution is going to bring and how it's going to benefit the audience that you are presenting the solution to. And then you bring a domain expert as well. So I talked about manufacturing use case on predictive maintenance of your devices, right? Then a manufacturing expert or a travel and a hospitality expert. If you're building some product in the financial domain, then maybe a financial expert. So this kind of a having an expert on the domain in the team as well will really help, right? So how do you go about with your next steps? Brainstorm multiple ideas. Don't just have single idea. Start with multiple ideas, filter on what is feasible within the available time given to you and with the app, which is Party Rock that is given to you. What is the kind of impact it creates? And whether it's a novel idea, whether it's a new idea or do you see this already being used somewhere, right? Now, sketch your MVP on paper. Whiteboarding is very essential, right? Draw a rough sketch of the solution on paper, or have a quick whiteboarding with your team on what you're going to build and what problem it addresses, and how are you going to impress the judges with the solution as well, right? Finally, narrow down to one solution. But here as well, if you have narrowed down to one solution, you start building it, and within a short duration of starting to build it, you feel that no, this is not a viable solution. I tried it, but it's failing. It's not giving the expected results that I was wishing for. You could always flip back, go to the second best idea you were brainstorming. So this is where the fail fast comes into picture, right? Again, this might be a overkill slide for a Party Rock hackathon where right you don't want to go with the 60-20-20 approach because it's a UI that actually creates a agent for you within minutes. And your job will be to kind of tweak the app or to tweak the agent in Party Rock. So spending time on 60% core features, 20% on UI UX, and 20% on pitch may not be needed. But definitely, you will have to prepare some 10 to 20 minutes on your pitch and how you are going to present your solution to the judges. So think about that. With that, I'll take a pause of the screen share and I'm going to kind of switch to a Party Rock presentation. Right, give me one sec there. Just give me a thumbs up if you're able to see my screen in full screen. Okay, thanks, folks. So for your current hackathon, you are going to use this app called as Party Rock. What is Party Rock? Party Rock is an Amazon Bedrock playground. Amazon Bedrock is an AWS service that powers Party Rock in the backend. It is a shareable Gen AI application building playground. So all you need is few lines of natural language prompt that you can feed in to build an app. It is hands-on. It's an application builder. It's a UI based. What you see is what you get kind of an application builder. You can build your apps. You can share your apps with your friends and colleagues. And you can also remix applications. Remix is basically modifying or changing let's say I created a based version of a application and I share it to my friend, and my friend iterates over it, makes some modifications to the app, and reshares it to someone else. So you could keep constantly iterate over a app that you've built through the feature called Remix, right? And anyone can access Party Rock. You don't need a AWS account or AWS console to actually access Party Rock, and this is why we felt this is the best place to start for a hackathon with so much of people, to avoid the challenges around having an AWS account access and navigating through the complexity of different AWS services. Party Rock abstracts this and gives you a UI where you could go and start building your GenAI apps, right? Okay, very important. What do you need to get started with the hackathon? You need either a development or an ML engineering or ML data science experience. How many of you do have this? Can I see a raise of hands? But I am sorry to the 25, 26, 30 plus people who have raised hands. You actually don't need this. Sorry about scaring folks for a few seconds there in the original slide. Are we looking at core software development skills or ML engineering experience? No, we are not, right? Then what is that we are looking for? Yeah, maybe just a bit of a coding experience is enough. How many of you in this group have coding experience? Few lines of Python coding or few lines of Java coding, or at least a C, C++ kind of a coding. How many in this group? Yeah. Oh, 70, maybe 100. It'll touch 150 soon. Good. Many congrats. All the best on your coding experience. It'll definitely come in handy for a lot of hackathons in the future. But we are not looking for coding experience as well, right? I want people to get introduced to AI as easily as possible. So while I'll explain the flow of PartyRock, and while I'll explain how PartyRock connects to GenAI or AWS AI in the backend, for this particular hackathon, the idea is that everyone should be able to access it, use it, and build something that's really creating a wow factor for your judges, right? So you don't need development or ML engineering experience. You don't need coding experience as well. So why did we give this application for use for all users? We want to show that everyone can build AI apps. That's the motto behind Party Rock. Now, you don't have to open it right away. Probably I'll show a small demo and you will have ample time to build your uh, hackathon use case or solution in Party Rock. You'll have enough time, so kindly pay attention to me. I'll walk you through what Party Rock is and how you can go about building your uh, solutions and AI applications. It's a browser-based app, partyrock.aws, right? And you simply need internet to access Party Rock in user credentials, right? You could use your Google credentials to log in, your Gmail credentials or Google credentials to log into Party Rock as well. All you need to do is to start with a prompt, which means you would have to describe what you would like the app to do. And then say generate app. You can start with an empty app as well, and then add your own widgets for the app, right? So there are features like Remix, creating a snapshot, which means the snapshot would be immutable. No one can further change that snapshot. But if you create a separate Remix version, you can further change that version for others to consume. You could also make this Party Rock app public and share with others who will benefit from the app. So features, you could remix it with other apps. You could edit your Party Rock apps. You could make changes to each and every individual widget, which can be, say, a drop down or a prompt or a specific text generation or an image generation as well. Share your apps with others or share it publicly for everyone to consume. And you could also create snapshots of the app for going back to a particular snapshot version, right? When I say widget, what is a widget? A widget is a UI element in your app. You can combine it with other widgets and thereby create an application. These widgets can display content. It can take in user input. It can talk to other widgets. So if you put an user input in one widget, or if your AI is actually uh, generating something in one widget, that information can be passed on to another widget, and finally it will be able to show output as well. Users basically are going to interact with your application through these widgets that will receive a input, right? Now, like I said, widgets can be used to generate images, can be used as a simple chatbot, uh, or can be used for text generation as well. Additional widgets like user can have a static text like a title widget or the name of your app, right? Or you could also put a drop down for user input. Now you could select from a different variety of models that are available for each and every widget. In the backend, PartyRock, as I mentioned, is powered by Amazon Bedrock. So access to these models are directly connected via Amazon Bedrock. So PartyRock internally uses Bedrock and provides you access to the LLM models that you can use. For image generation, we also provide access to a stable diffusion model via PartyRock. With the free access to PartyRock, there's going to be a limited credit that is offered for users as a free trial. And if you have used a certain portion of your free PartyRock credits, it will show it in your login in your account section as to how much of credits that you've used. And given this is free, there's always going to be a limit. And beyond those limits, it's going to be additional token charges. But worry not, with the available credits that you have, you'll be easily able to build 5 or more apps which are using Claude or LLM model in the backend, right? So you will have ample credits to build an app which can be shown for your hackathon, right? And the best part is you will not have to provide any credit card or pricing information to claim the free account of PartyRock. You simply have to provide your Google credentials to log in and access the PartyRock free account. Only when your credits are exhausted, you might want to explore other options which is not needed for the scope of the hackathon. Right. Then what are we going to do? So you might be thinking, Madhu, you've told me I'll not have to learn coding. I'll not have to have ML experience or coding experience. Then what is that I'm going to do as a part of the hackathon? Simple and but very effective skills. These skills are needed for the next 15 to 20 years at least for all of us when we are using and working with AI, which is no second guesses, of course, prompt engineering. Right? So prompts is basically a specific set of input that you provide to the AI, generative AI assistant or the agent. This will guide large language models like Claude model that is hosted on Bedrock to generate an appropriate response or a output for a given task or an instruction. Some tips for good prompt writing, be very specific. You give it contextual information. So coming to prompt engineering, are you folks aware about zero shot prompting, few shot prompting, chain of thought, show of hands? Good, but some thumbs down and some surprised faces as well. So for those people, zero shot prompting is I simply give a prompt to Claude asking, who's the Prime Minister of India? And it will be able to reply back to me saying that is Mr. Narendra Modi. But if I give a much more complex prompt about a Twitter post around, say, the FIFA World Cup finals of a sports analyst, right? And if I'm going to ask my large language model whether the sentiment of this post is positive, negative, or neutral, maybe it'll give you an answer, but whether the answer is correct or wrong depends on the context that the large language model or the LLM understood, right? So to provide more context to the LLM, what you could do is you could give the LLM a set of data or a sample data set which says, hey, this is a good prompt. Sorry, hey, this is a good sentiment. This is bad sentiment. This is neutral sentiment around this topic. And if you give a set of examples, it'll understand what it means when the user says the sentiment is positive, when the sentiment is neutral, when the sentiment is negative. Based on that sample data, if you feed in the new data, it will be able to tell whether the sentiment is positive, negative, or neutral, right? That is few shot prompting. Chain of thought is LLM or agent will also do a reasoning and then act before giving you an actual response, which means it takes an internal iterative process to do multiple iterations of how to frame or come up with a final answer for a particular question posted by the user in the input prompt. So that is chain of thought prompting. So there are multiple complexities of prompt engineering as well. I'll not spend more time on the nitty-gritties towards that, given our limited time availability. But prompt engineering is pretty essential when you're working on building any GenAI application, right? So some tips for good prompting is be very specific. Like for example, start here, turn when you see this particular landmark, then you go straight. This is how you give instructions when you are asking someone to navigate or reach a particular destination, right? And emphasize on the details. It is okay to be very specific on details or response that you expect from the LLM. You could say that be professional, be concise, do not guesswork. If you are not sure of an answer to a particular question, use your different sources. For example, in a real world use case that you build in the future, maybe not with Party Rock, you might have to read knowledge bases. You might have to read MCP servers, which provide more context for the model, right? So instruct the model in an effective way in your prompt. That itself solves half of your problem, right? A good prompt will ensure you get a very close to accurate response from your large language model or from your LLM. Take the example of this user prompt, which is what is the capital of Telangana? It clearly says the capital of Telangana is Hyderabad and gives more details about Telangana, right? Now, usage and restrictions. You can add restrictions in your prompts to use less credits when you write prompts in widget or application builder, which means the more tokens we generate, the more credits you consume, right? So you could add specific restrictions in the prompt itself to consume less tokens or to be very precise, concise, and be frugal in terms of the token usage or in terms of the responses to stick to the point and not be elaborate when not needed, right? Of course, when you need a elaborate less response, you can always have the LLM give that, but have this logic embedded in your prompt engineering so that you can limit the output of words, number of characters, or what we call as tokens in a GenAI world today, right? That can also be limited or played around with when you're building your application in PartyRock. Some samples are here, like write a one sentence poem, provide a list of 10 nicknames. You're being very specific, right? Create a story using 20 tokens, limit all outputs to 100 words or less. So these are instructions that you can add in your prompt, right? Now, see the difference between a short poem, write a short poem, and a poem. Definitely, a user who has prompted the LLM to write a short poem is saving on his credits or her credits as compared to a user who has simply said, create a poem for me about teamwork, right? So the shorter it is, the more tokens you save, the more credits you have to build more and more widgets and make your app look more appealing to your judges and panelists. Some more examples: 50-word poem, 6-line poem, 20 token poem. You could see how different the LLM responds to for each of these prompts when you give them as an input. Right now, let's go do a short demo of Party Rock itself. But before I jump into demo, I'll see if there are any open questions at this point. Okay, courses are related to educate and career guidance. So some of these will be answered by Akanksha at the 4 p.m. Connect. And like Subha mentioned, please join the official Hackathon WhatsApp channel for formal updates from the team around the timelines and dates. So yes, I think
Yes.
most of the questions are around that. But Subha, if I missed any question which might be of interest to the folks, please
Yes, there
let me
has
know.
been quite a few questions, so it is something that I will definitely take up for everyone.
Yeah,
But
okay.
anything to do with hackathon. So all the girls over here, they're like 100 plus questions, and we're trying to answer all of them. Let's keep the question specific where Madhukaran will be able to help you with. Only ask those questions. At 4 o'clock is when we'll be answering you questions related to AWS Educate, access to courses, etc. But let's keep it to the specific, please. How can we save our tokens? Is one question from
Yeah,
Nancy.
yes, that's a good question, Nancy. I'll cover a portion of it in my demo, but yeah, you could use parameters like max tokens, which controls how many tokens your LLM responds with for a particular query. And you could also do a bit of prompt engineering, right? Answer in no less than 100 words or answer in less than 100 words. Basically, decides how your LLM behavior is and whether it's going to give a elaborate response or a succinct and a precise response. Can we get some other AI tool to generate our prompt? That's also a good question, Nancy. If you do have access, maybe you can, but basically your submissions to need to happen in Party Rock as a part of the hackathon. One candidate completes the assessment quickly but with lower accuracy. Yeah, this is an evaluation criteria. I'll not take that question right now, Srishti. How many tokens that each prompt consume? That's a good question, Sheikh. So tokens are basically uh, a set of characters put together contributes to one token, right? In Claude, maybe 3, 4, or 5 character ASCII characters, depending on what character you use, contributes to one token, right? It may vary from model to model. So instead of a Claude, if you use a different model, then how that model looks at token is slightly different. But by and large, you can assume somewhere between 3 to 7 ASCII characters or 8 ASCII characters would contribute to one token. There are solutions in the internet if you want to check out as to see how much tokens you might be consuming for a particular prompt or how much tokens are going to be consumed against a certain model if you are using a particular prompt. So you could check your token count for each and every prompt that way as well. How token use is related to output. I mean, of course, increases, but how? It depends on how big or how small your output is, right, Bhavya? So let's say my chat agent replies back to me with one very big paragraph consisting of 1,000 words, rather than it gives me a one-line reply. A one-line reply would have a very lesser number of tokens consumed as opposed to 1,000-word essay, right? But for example, if you're building a solution that mandates you to create an essay, then yeah, of course, you need more tokens to create that essay for you. But always keep a watch on the credits that you might be consuming in Party Rock. The assessment part for the question from Arya Sambre, that's kind of will reveal it uh, not now. So it's going to be a decision by the panelists and judges. Right now, I'll tell you how to get started with building using Party Rock, but the assessment portion is something that we are just keeping it within a close group at this point. You'll get to know as you proceed further in multiple rounds. Question from Aisha. So while writing a prompt, we write in detail, but we want the LLM to answer in short. Aisha, it again may depend on your use case, right? So, like I said, if it is a haiku poem that is a use case that you're building, then the answer needs to be definitely in short. But if it's a detailed SOP document for say or a checklist for migrating your databases from say local to an AWS cloud, then the checklist is going to be pretty large. Of course, the LLM will consume more tokens. So what I'm trying to say is build a use case where you are making the best use of tokens. The responses at times may be needed to be elaborate, but at times it can be brief. So strike a balance between these two so that you are not overspending on your total credits that you get as a part of the free access to Party Rock. So for Sapna's question on the limit of free tokens in Party Rock, start accessing Party Rock, and as and when you keep building, you will see a percentage increase in your user's profile, Sapna. With that, you will understand how much you have consumed and how much you have left. So we don't actually call out the exact count of tokens in there in the UI. Can you give us a tour of the Party Rock platform? Yes, Shavi, that's what I'm going to do right now. Thank you. So let's share my screen again and log out for a bit. So this is my internal site, but for all of you, you could simply type partyrock.aws and log in. Right, let me log out and show that process again. So you need to simply say join Party Rock or sign in. You could use your Apple credentials. This is your Amazon retail, the shopping app that you have. You could either use that or you could continue with your Google credentials directly. So it's signing in. Now I have logged in to Party Rock. Right, let me make the screen bigger. Yeah, this is my account. So what you see is the landing page after you log into Party Rock. You could directly start by creating an app, create an image.
Actually, we can see your Zoom
The
screen.
Zoom screen,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it? Okay. Let
Yeah,
me
yeah.
reshare my Party Rock screen. Give me one sec. How about now?
Yes. Yeah, it's now visible.
Okay, this is a sample, right? You could um, further fine tune your prompt. You could change your this uh, orientation and other further fine tuning on the spelling and the issues that you might see to generate images. So that's pretty straightforward. Now going to apps, right? Yeah. Let's select all the curtains. It wants to understand that I'm a human. There you go. So these are some of the apps that I have created, right? Now I can simply go to my home page and over here I can click on create an app, right? Now what I'm going to say is build an app for college students to choose the best career path, create 4 widgets, take their username, skills, and aspirational roles as input, create a sample question bank in second widget, use prompt chaining, and create a set of answers and reference material that they can use to prepare for the interviews. And finally, in fourth widget, create a pitch, one paragraph pitch that they can use to send their bio to recruiters, right? Very simple prompt type by me. Whiskers is your party rock assistant that builds the app. We are cat people, so we've named it Whiskers. It is creating the app. You could see it is creating widgets for a career guidance app. It will take student name as an input, skills, aspirational role, interview question bank, sample answers and study material, recruiter pitch, right? An app ready within 60 seconds. Now, if I want to modify this app, I can click on the pencil icon against each of the widget, right? These are input prompts. But for the interview question bank, it will definitely need a LLM to prepare these questions, right? So if you click on this edit, you could see there is a prompt for this widget as well, which says you are an expert career coach helping a college student prepare for job interviews. Student skills are, you could add skills. This is coming from this skills box, right? And then generate a tailored interview question bank containing 10 to 15 questions. And then it built a prompt for me, basically, for this particular interview question bank widget. Now, as a user, you can go and modify this prompt to suit your use case better, right? Now, apart from the prompt, you can see that it uses Claude Sonnet 4.6 as the model, right? Here, you could click on AI model. You could select between Claude 4.5 HiQ, which is a more cost-effective model, but not that intelligent. Sonnet strikes a balance between intelligence and cost. And then we have the Amazon family of models, which is Nova Pro and Nova 2 Lite. You also have a Palmyra X5 model that you can choose from, right? If the model should be given a capability to search the internet for information, you enable this box, this toggle. If you want the model to do reasoning, right? I spoke about chain of thought prompting earlier in our presentation, and I also spoke about reasoning. So if you want the model to think deeply before responding, then you enable this toggle, right? Now, you also have certain parameters that you can configure. Temperature. The temperature parameter controls how random or how factual the model is. The higher the temperature, the model chooses the response from a larger corpus of data that it can pull from, thereby it gives a creative freedom for the model to choose the response. If it is much lesser, the model will stick to facts, but the corpus of data that it can pick from would be minimal. So it is not very creative in its response. Top P, again, it limits the word choices to the most likely options. What does this mean? Any Gen AI model or an LLM, what it does is it predicts the next best word, right? So when you give a prompt, how a large language model or a Gen AI model works is it predicts the next best word it can add to the response. Now, top P limits the number of words or the pool of words it can choose from to the most likely options. Lower values will make responses more predictable. Higher values, again, will give you more variety of data that it can choose from. Right? These two parameters can be configured by you when you're choosing the model as well. Again, if I scroll up, there's a AI output that you're editing. But over here, if you click on this, this is the actual prompt that you'll be editing, right? You can do each of this for any yellow tabbed or fluorescent tabbed widget that you see over here. These widgets are static, which means you're just simply going to enter some data as an input. Let's test this out. So it is connecting to the internet. You could also see sources from where it pulled the information. And it's asking me technical questions as a question bank and behavioral questions to prepare for the interview as well. Some more situational questions. This is a huge number of prompts. If you want to restrict it to say 5 questions per topic, or if you only want behavioral questions, technical questions, not situational questions, you could further modify your prompt to stick to say 5 questions or 4 questions or whatever it is. There was a question around how do I control my tokens and how do I control my overall credits. That is one way to do it in the prompt engineering. Then comes the sample answers and study materials. And there's a one para recruiter bio as well that I prepared. Now I can further chat with whiskers and say that, hey, this does not meet my requirement. I need to add another widget where I can continue to chat with this app itself for further career guidance advice, right? I need another widget in this app for further career guidance advice. It can be on career path roadmap. It is adding another widget, and you can plan the layout of this widget as well after you build it. And I think we're on top of the hour, so I'll stop my screen share. That's an example of how you could build an app with Party Rock, right? This should definitely get you started by to get building your solutions. Widgets are a part of the UI UX, Bhavya. Yes, that's correct. And I think too many questions due to the shortage of time. I think I may not be able to take everything. But yes, Party Rock should get you started in building your apps. The theme of the hackathon, the time limit, everything is going to be shared by your organizers in the WhatsApp group. So watch out for that. Has Akanksha
I think Pratibha is
joined?
in.
I'm here.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Hey.
Okay,
Hey, thank
so
you so much, Pratibha.
Sorry
Right.
if
yeah,
I look super crazy. It's 6:32 my time right now. So, but I'm like, I think this boosts my enthusiasm a lot seeing so many women on a call attending this session right now. So it's just amazing to see that. And thank you, Madhu, for supporting with this session. I think I was just taking some
Certainly.
notes for myself and would love to have the presentation that you just shared with everyone. I know that everyone will get the recording, but I'd love to also take a look at the presentation. Probably I'll learn a little few things as well myself.
For sure, Pratibha. So I was initially covering the tips and tricks and then gave them a walkthrough on Party Rock as well. That should put them on the path to build for the hackathon. They had Subha and team had specific topics to be covered around AWS Educate and the academy side of it as well. So that's where I thought I'll pause at 4 and then I can hand it over to either you or Akansha. I
Amazing.
was assuming Akansha might be here.
Yeah,
Right.
No
I, I
worries.
I actually called her at 2 a.m. and I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to join, but I think something woke me up. So I'm glad that I did. And I see a lot of questions and a lot of inquisitive, nature of everybody asking all of these questions. What courses? How do we do this? What do we do? So I think just to answer a few questions for everyone, the first thing first that I'd like to share with everyone, just give me 1 second, would be the link which
Pratibha,
I believe.
can I interrupt? Sorry for interrupting, but I really would want to thank Madhukiran for, taking the
Okay.
sessions very patiently with all the women out there, asking so many questions on the chat box or as well as personally on me. So we will answer all of those questions to you. But thank you, Madhukiran, so much for your time and taking them also through the Party Rock platform, which actually was not a part of today's plan, but this has kind of given them the excitement to kind of participate for the MCQ round. But for everyone's benefit, everybody who's there in the call today, so please know the first round is going to be the MCQ round, which will happen in the Unstop platform. And those who get qualified for the zonal round will be using the AWS Party Rock platform to submit their problem statements. So all of you will be a part of a session exclusively on how to use the AWS Party Rock. So you will definitely not miss that dedicated session. Yes, Madhukuran was right. I don't think this time is enough for him to entirely show how the platform works. But this is something that we'll save for another day. And we want to reserve the next half an hour with Pratibha over here. She's also an expert from AWS who specifically will answer any kind of questions that you have around AWS Educate, whether it's courses, uh, registration issues, access denial for a particular courses. This is the platform for you to talk to her. And all the questions for hackathon or for the MCQ round will be around generative AI. So though all those courses are available on the AWS Educate, we recommend that you complete all those courses so that you're ready when you answer questions and something that they can relate to. So yes, so I will leave this half an hour for you, Pratibha, to answer as many questions as you can. Yes, over to you. Thanks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just want the access to be able to share my screen. I've just sent a request. So if I can get that access,
Yes,
maybe I'll
I
just
have.
take it. Perfect.
Yes.
So I'm going to share my screen, everyone, and maybe I'll just start with the basic. You've already been shared a particular link of AWS Educate. It is one of the Future Builder programs that we have, which consists of multiple small little contents and modules which are around cloud, GenAI, ML. It also has some content which is not very specific to tech, but you can also go ahead and take a look at that. Not something mandatory that you have to do, but let's talk about what you are expected or suggested to do for this particular hackathon. So you register yourself through this link which has been shared in the chat with you. It already has a pre-filled registration code, so please do not remove that. In case by mistake you refresh the page and you have to fill in all the information again, please ensure that you put this code, which is EPBDIN, in the registration page, so that we can also track the number of learners who have registered. So I'm not going to register, obviously, because I have my account. I'm just going to click on sign in. But before we move ahead and answer a few questions, you can just put in your first name, your last name, country, state, city, and a little bit of details on your email. This is one question that I've been asked the most. What programs are you associated with? You can either select AWS Educate or none of the above. Both is fine. You can also select English as the preferred language. and then you click on sign in. For me, I don't have to, but one particular piece of information that I'd like to share with everyone, the email address that you use here on this page, you will see as soon as you move to the next page, which is building a builder ID, you will be expected to use the same email ID to build a builder ID. Again, not a very difficult step. It takes hardly a minute. And then once you have registered, you'll successfully be able to sign in. I'm going to quickly sign into my account so that I can show you the LMS. Just give me a second. Okay, so once you've signed in, this is what the page would look like. And you can see some of these courses I'm already, because I keep on giving some sessions on these, I already have these here, but you can either put in the name here. So the 3 courses that you're expected to do, which will also be good for you to learn through AWS Educate, which is not necessarily just for the hackathon, but overall would be 1, Introduction to Cloud 101, 2, Machine Learning Foundation, and third one is Introduction to Gen AI. Very important. You can go through these 3 courses. Again, you can see 2 of these courses are 3 hours, but if you see the Gen AI one isn't generated. Yes, this is just 0.75 hours. So these are the courses that we expect you to do. And there is one particular course that is not requested for you to complete, but given you're going to do this whole hackathon on Party Rock, and Madhukiran was, he gave an amazing session, but just in case you want to just take a look at what Party Rock is and, just get a little bit of idea, you can also do this course, which is Introduction to Party Rock. Again, 0.75 hours isn't going to take too much time. One good thing about these courses and why we expect you to do these, apart from obviously
Yes, we
Okay, I
lost
think,
Pratibha.
yeah. Pratibha's joined back again. Yes. Yeah. We'll have her in again. She's joined in. Yeah.
I am so sorry. I think there's just some issue with my laptop, I think because of the power. But it's fine. I'll just continue with my phone and I'm just gonna okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, am I visible? I might not be able to share
Yes.
my screen, but I'd love to just continue. So the 3 courses I was telling you, the reason why we've asked you to do these courses isn't just necessarily for the MCQ or for the hackathon, but it is also because completing these courses allows you to earn a digital badge, which is a badge being sent to you by Credly. You can actually add that badge to your resumes and to your LinkedIn profile. So, which means on completion, you can show that you have completed these courses or have been skilled via these courses from AWS Educate. And these courses, while you do these courses, it's not just mere text. You will also find some simulation based guided labs within these courses, and you can just take a look. And while you're learning, you can go learning via guided labs. So that's also amazing. It's not going to be so monotonous. And I think a lot of people are just so if you have completed the course, you should have received a Credly link in your email. Please take a look if you haven't. I'm sure that Subha and the team has shared a customer support form link with you. Just feel free to go ahead and put in your queries there, and they'll come back and they will, resolve the issue that you have. Let's see if you have any other question. I also received a badge. That's amazing. I would really love for you guys to just, share your badges on LinkedIn or wherever. It's an amazing thing that you completed it. So that's amazing. Any other specific question that I haven't answered, please feel free to jump in and ask. And I know that no one has asked me this particular question, but once you register to AWS Educate, we are bringing in some new courses. We are bringing in some new, modules very soon. A big team in US is working on it. the access stays with you even after the hackathon is over. Because of the relationship that we have with Aspire for Her, we wanted to ensure that we provide access to something that stays with the learner for a longer run. So even if you've just completed these 3 courses, nobody stops you from just going ahead and taking a look at other courses and completing them if you want. Okay, let's see. I have completed 1 course and I couldn't find the remaining 2. How can I get those? When you're on the canvas, you see a search bar. You just go and put the name of the course and you'll be able to find it. Yes, it is absolutely free to the learner. See, nothing comes for free in the world. Even water isn't free, but it is free for the learner. So we don't charge anything from the person who's learning. Any cost that is borne, especially on content development, is borne by AWS. Is the code same in the login page and the email sent? I believe so. I will repeat again in caps. It is EPBDIN. I'm sure that you received the same link in the email. As I said, in case you refresh the page and suddenly the code is gone, please make sure that you put it in so that we can go ahead and review how many of you have completed it. Okay. Ma'am, haven't received the code. If you just scroll up, Khushi, there is a link I have put in the chat. You can search by my name, Pratibha. The link has a pre-filled code, so you don't have to put the code after you click on that link. It'll directly take you to AWS Educate page. Yes, Varnika, same answer. I think if you just use the link, you don't have to put the promo code. In case you directly go to AWS Educate and you don't find the code there, once you scroll down, it says particularly registration code, so you can just put the code there. Can anyone tell me the name of the 3 courses I joined late? Yes, it is Cloud 101, Introduction to Gen AI, and Machine Learning Foundation. Being under 18, I will not be able to access. That's correct. Unfortunately, Vedangi, try using an email. Maybe it will let you if you're very close to 18, but that is the minimum age requirement in India. A person has to be 18 to be able to access all of these future builder programs, especially AWS Educate. I'm actually working on something to probably bring something for the K-12 segment as well. Okay.
So just for everyone's benefit, I am sharing a message in the chat box. Copy and save it because it has the promo code and the AWS Educate link. It will be easy for you to access directly.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think majority of the questions I've answered, Subha. I will again, if it helps, I'll just share a simple email with you and put in the details in case somebody wants to have some information they can from there. I have a little hard stop because I have to be for a meeting in office, which is about 10 minutes away for a meeting at 7. But I'm glad that I was able to answer a few questions. If in case there is something that, maybe we are unsure of, just let me know. If somebody's facing any technical problem, please go ahead and fill the customer support form because they are the first people to get.
What we will be doing. Are you back? Yeah.
Yep. No, I was just saying that the customer support form should help in case there's a technical problem. And I look forward to meeting with you all during the final hackathon. I can't wait to have or click some beautiful pictures and put them on my LinkedIn. And, may the best team wins.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Pratibha. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. So just to kind of give you all a quick update, all the ladies out there, we will be sending a recording to all of you with some of the key questions that you have asked for. Most of you have not received the Educate link as well as the promo code. We'll be sharing that with all of you. We'll also be sharing you the courses that you should be attending. And nevertheless, we'll also be sharing the recording link with all of you. So many of you have asked what is going to be the portion for the MCQs. It's going to be around AI ML, and hence we are recommending you that you finish all the 3 courses because you are going to get questions around these 3 topics, right? So do not worry about the Party Rock platform yet because that is something that will happen at the zonal level. But let's kind of first clear the MCQ round. So these 3 courses we recommend you. Please visit our website womenwhomaster.com, and you will have many other tech courses that you can kind of go through it. It's not mandatory. However, we recommend you to finish it for your MCQ rounds. Right? Perfect. So I know there are thousands of questions lying up, but then everything we'll send it to you on email as a part of an FAQs. It'll be very helpful for all of you. Do join our WhatsApp channel. We'll be posting you about all the latest updates about the hackathon so that you don't miss on any of the sessions that we have for all of you. For any questions, please do write to support@aspireforher.com. We'll also send you the support ID of AWS so that anything that you have questions around AWS Educate, you can direct directly to their support ID. Right? So thank you all for joining. We really look forward to all of you participating in the hackathon and making us all proud. Thanks. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Madhukiran, one more time. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks, Subha. Thanks.
Thank you.
You
Thank
will
you
put
all.
the official WhatsApp channel link again.
Yes. So we are sharing the official WhatsApp channel link. Please do be a part of that link. It's there on the WhatsApp. Sorry, it's there on the chat box. And we look forward to you joining to this channel for all the latest updates on the hackathon. Thank you.
Rujika, could you please share that?
I think we have.
I have already shared in the group. Many of them already joined.
No, can you share just one more time, Ruchika, towards the end so that everybody has it handy? Yeah, I have shared it in the WhatsApp channel. Please. No, this is the customer support, Ruchika. Never mind. So I have shared the hackathon WhatsApp channel. Please do join that link. Thank you. Thank you. We can
Bye.
close the session.